This is a 2015 Chevy 3500 install video for the grill guard on there. It's a very, very simple install. To begin with, you're going to take, if you got tow hooks, you need to take the tow hooks out. If this truck did, if it does not have tow hooks, I believe there's a plastic insert in here or filled in. I'm not positive on that one, but it will have to be cut out to access to where the tow hook's supposed to be. If you got tow hooks, the tow hook needs to come out, and this is your bracket that's going to go on there. Your bracket's going to go on the outside of the frame and on the bottom of the frame. You can see your hole here. It matches exactly how the tow hook's going to come out. The tow hook's got one vertical or horizontal bolt on there, and then it's going to have one vertical bolt right there. The tow hook's going to go back in there, and you're actually going to use your factory bolts. This is the one that goes through the frame that connects that tow hook in there, and then this one's your vertical bolt in there that's going to go back up underneath there to connect the bottom, and it's going to go through the bottom of your bracket, and it's going to re-bolt back into your tow hook. This one, the tow hook's got the bolt. The other one, you're going to have a nut on the outside of the frame that reconnects that guy. So that's how all that's going to go back together, just back inside your frame. Right here you can see, it's right at the very, very tip. You can see there's your bottom vertical bolt, and then there's your horizontal bolt right there, that's the longer one that's going to go through the frame. So it's a very simple install. I'm going to take this back apart. I'm going to show you. You got to kind of twist the bracket a little bit when you put it in there. And then that's exactly how the bracket goes. And then you're going to reinsert your tow hook. And you can get in there or get somebody up underneath there to reinstall your bolts. Put both the bolts in first before you tighten either one of them. That way you can move it around to get it. And when you tighten that, once you get both your bolts in there, tighten your bottom one first, your vertical bolt, which is your little one, and then you tighten your side bolt on there. On the other side, we've already got the other side mounted, and I'll kind of show you too. See, this all mounted, it's all tied up, your tow hook's still back in there. On your grill guard, there's another plate that looks just like this on the bottom of each upright, and the holes go the other direction. You're going to end up using this 1/2 by 1 3/4 bolt. There's 4 of them. You're going to use those bolts to install your grill guard to your brackets. And right now, to easier understand how this is up underneath, right now there's a picture that you can see to see how the brackets go on without the bumper on the truck. This is now mounted up. You can see the bolts that we talked about, the 1/2 by 1 3/4. We got 4 of them, 2 of them on each side. We've tightened it so far. I'm going to show you here in just a second how we aligned it. I want to backtrack just a second. When you take the tow hook out to mount those brackets, as we stated, those are 18mm bolts, just to help you out on what size bolts those are. And if you do not have tow hooks, we stated to cut that plastic out up underneath there, and you've got to put that bracket through there. Now you won't have your tow hook there, so you don't have your factory bolts. We supplied 4 more bolts exactly the same as the ones that you mounted your guard to your brackets with, and you'll just use those. The holes are still there, whether you got tow hooks or not. You just got to use our bolts if you don't have tow hooks. And to align the grill guard, I always get a tape measure, and I'll measure on both sides from side to side to make sure you get it the same. Once you've got it the same, I'll come over here on one side and I'll lift up. There's an adjustment up and down. I'll get about right in the middle of the adjustment up and down on one side and tighten one of the bolts. And then we'll put a floor jack on the other side, and you can get right here, you can back straight up and you line the grill guard up with the rearview mirror. That way you know you're right from side to side. I line the top of my loops up with the top of the hood line right there on each side, and you can take the jack and jack it up and down, whichever needs to be to get the other side the same. And once the other side's the same, then you just tighten your other side up and make sure all bolts are tight. Go through it one more time and make sure all bolts are tight before you drive off. And that's your install in your 2015 3500. As of now, it goes to the 16 Chevy truck.